Alright, now this is exciting. We get to do the first aftermath of 2019. The most popular video that we get to put out. Here it is. Aftermath of the Ford Taurus, Marshfield, Wisconsin, Eve of Destruction car. Probably one of the most important important parts. Mike's paint job still looks badass. Got some tire rubs on her, but just adds to the character, right? Other than that, in the Derby, I took a pretty good hit about a minute after I was already out, but they don't have sticks there, so I guess it's kind of hard to tell who's actually in or out. I really only actually made one hit in the Derby part of the event. This side was actually from one of the events. I got hit by a Dodge Dakota during the obstacle course race, which was my best finish. I know it was kind of hard to follow in the videos. I jumbled all the heats together along with the feature of each event just because there was a ton of videos, guys. I mean, we were there for over 5 hours, constantly moving. They do a hell of a job moving things along, and it was just, to try to put every heat up individually would have taken forever. So I just kind of jumbled them all together, but I participated in the last man standing race, which is where at the end of each lap, the person in last, or if there's a few people that are kind of slow, they get eliminated until there's only one car left that wins. I also did the forward-backward race. Unfortunately, I kind of had a little bit of a whoops with my steering, and it's been a long time since I tried to go backwards around a track. So after I spun it out in the corner, I said to hell with it and brought it in because I knew I wasn't going to be competitive. And I did the obstacle course race, which was definitely my best performance. I finished second in my heat out of, I believe there were 7 or 8, but unfortunately only the winner was going on in that race. That race was definitely a ton of fun. I knew what my steering issue was at that point, and I'll explain that here in a bit. But and then I did the demolition derby, which is where the majority of this damage came from and what kept this car from being able to continue to move, and we will go through that in just a bit. This side, paint job, still looking pretty good. Mike's paint must make the car more durable, so you should get one done on your car too. Nope, I forgot I got this strap on here. First off, so my steering issue, this was after the first race, literally the first quarter I went into. If you take a look, that tire's about straight, I would say. And we take a look over here, that one's a whole lot of knot. On top of that, in that first race, aside from getting my toe pushed way in, I had this tire on the right front. And you can see that she blew a belt and almost half the tread just completely ripped off of it. Now, it stayed on the tire for a while, and I 100% was convinced that I had a flat. But either way, that was on the outside, so the tire was laying over itself, and I had 0 left at that point as far as trying to handle that car at all. But even going back out for, with the forward backwards races, I was trying to run with the car with it looked like this going backwards. I mean, it was, if I turned the steering wheel half, it would like snap around. It was definitely interesting trying to keep control of this car. Obstacle course, it actually worked in my favor. Obstacle course, you have to go all the way around the track, but they have 2 big old skid loader tires, and every time you come up to one, you have to go all the way around it and keep going. And fortunately, every time I slammed on the brakes, which didn't work very well in this thing at all, but when I did, it would snap both tires to the left, and it would actually kind of push me around the tires. So it actually kind of worked in my advantage on that one. So ultimately, what ended up taking me out in the demolition derby. Let me get this guy off of here. Maybe. Oh, should probably grab that so it's not hanging in there. Hook pins are still in. I should probably take those out, right? Nah. As expected, they pulled right through the fiberglass. So, like I said, I only got to make one hit going forward, but here's the results of that. That right there is the power distribution box, which obviously we would have moved if we were building this car for Derby. But we didn't, because we weren't. She's in 2 pieces now. Is it fixable? Oh, hold on. Let me try to get this out of here. Yeah, you can get a little bit better look. A couple pieces in there. It might be. It actually did fire up for a minute, so I'm assuming there's just some stuff that we... Oh, hey. There's the cover for it. There's probably just some stuff that, you know, maybe put back together. I mean, I know you could just go pull another box and reroute the wires into it. I'm struggling. I really don't know what to do with this car. Obviously, everything's still straight. And it's a fairly clean car. It looks rusty down there, but that's all clay. It's actually a pretty solid frame. And these cars are fairly decent, so I don't know that I can get another Eve on the schedule for this year until maybe like fall with all the derbies that we're gonna run, which that seems like kind of a waste to just let it sit here. I may try to sell it. Somebody else wants to run it in an Eve. Until the tow got, you know, even with the 2 tires facing each other, the car was relatively quick. I mean, there's some guys that obviously bring cars that they know are going to be super fast, but this thing held its own. It's a very healthy engine. It actually ran pretty good. I definitely think that it has pretty good potential out there, but I don't know. Maybe I'll sell it cheap for somebody that wants to get in and give an Eve a try. I mean, it's ready to go. I mean, you know, the reason that I paid a little bit more for it is because of the quality of the cage that somebody put in it, to keep you a little bit safer for an event like this. So I don't really want to just cut the cage out and junk it. That seems like a waste. Might see if I can find somebody else that maybe wants to fix it and run it. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Maybe I'll post it later. See if anybody's interested. Appreciate you following along. As always, First Aftermath 2019. Get goosed.